to everybody who's here on time. Yay. When I'm teaching a live class, I always talk about there's two types of time. There's real time, which the rest of the world observes, and then there's realtor time, which for some reason we seem to observe. So for those of you who are observing real time, thank you. I'm glad you're here. And let's get started. I have got a ton of stuff to show you today. And there was an update even this morning that I had to change one of the slides. So things are changing rapidly in terms of AI and our business. So that's why I wanted to make sure you got a copy of my book, which you will receive tomorrow when SCCAR sends out the information. So let's get started. And a little bit about me first, just so you know why I'm sitting here. I've been licensed since 1986. I hold a bunch of real estate designations and also a bunch of technology designations. I got involved in technology very early. I was one of the first people to have a computer in real estate in Sonoma County in 1986, and I stayed current with technology ever since. So I write a real estate and technology blog that goes out weekly, and I also managed offices, regions, sold houses, listed houses. I'm an instructor for NAR, instructor for CAR. I wrote CAR's GRI 107 technology course, which as far as I know, they're still teaching. I teach zip forms, and I'm the author of the Handy Guide to ChatGPT for Real Estate Agents, which I wrote back in, I think, April of this year. So ChatGPT came along at the end of November of last year, and it just took the world by storm. They had over 1 million users within a few days, which was an astonishing amount of users in a short period of time. So let's get into this. Now, I don't know about you. Bill Gates is not one of my favorite people. I'm a Mac guy through and through. And as long as he was involved in technology, I was okay with him. His recent forays into other stuff makes me not want to listen to him. But he had something to say back in March about AI. And he said the development of AI is as fundamental as the creation of the microprocessor, the personal computer, the internet, and the mobile phone. It'll change the way people work, learn, travel, get healthcare, and communicate with each other. Entire industries will reorient around it. Businesses will distinguish themselves by how well they use it. Now, Jody mentioned you'll get a copy of the slides, but these links are all live links. You can copy and paste them if for some reason the links don't work. But if we go here and look at this, now here is the notes, the Gates note, his blog where he mentioned this. And he talks about this ChatGPT, and it's just an astonishing thing that he had to say. Anyhow, just to keep you up to speed, this is not something that's going to be a flash in the pan and then disappear. You really can't ignore it, and I applaud you folks for being here to learn more about it and how you can use it in your business. So, and I do agree with Bill, it's not going away. It's going to be a game changer equal to the internet and the mobile phone and social media. So here's what we're going to cover, and I'd just like to let you know where we're going, so you can hang in there with me on this. So I'm going to talk about what it is first, and you may already know this, but there's some people here who may not. So bear with me with some of this fundamental things. But we're going to talk about what it is, and then we're going to talk about how to get it. There's 2 different versions of ChatGPT. We'll investigate those. Then I'm going to show you 10 things that you can do, which I think will be pretty much eye-openers for you. I'll give you 6 very specific examples. I will talk about ChatGPT Plus. I'll talk about plugins. And when we finish plugins, I'll talk about the thing that just got announced today, which truly blows my mind. And I want to wrap up with how to stay out of trouble, because you can get yourself in huge trouble with this. And I'll explain how that can happen and how to stay out of trouble as we go along. Okay, so here we go. So what is it? Well, basically, it's artificial intelligence language model. It's just a model at this point. It's a research project. They're continually upgrading it and figuring out how to make it better. but it was designed so it would interact with us in a conversational style. So it was trained on all the text on the internet up through the end of September of 2021. So anything that's been on the internet after that date, basic ChatGPT has no knowledge of it, but it has been trained on all the text that's out there. So think of it similar to like a Google in terms of what it knows about, except Google, of course, is up to date by the minute. So it's basically a language model. It tries to figure out, by looking at all the text that's out there, what the next word might be, the next word in the sentence might be, to kind of help predict what it's going to say. You don't really need to know that, but it's sometimes people want to know, how does it work? So if you log on to ChatGPT, you're going to see a couple of windows. And basically, this is the first one. It says their goal is to get external feedback in order to improve our systems and make them safer. And I'll show you along the way how you can do feedback. Then they warn you, while we have safeguards in place, the system may occasionally generate incorrect or misleading information and produce offensive or biased content. It's not intended to give advice. So don't ask it for dating advice, okay? So then they say how they collect data. So they may take the information you feed it and review it. A human may look at what you're doing with ChatGPT. So I wouldn't put any banking information in there or any password information. And they warn you, please don't share any sensitive information in your conversations, because somebody will look at it, or they might not, but you don't know. They'd like your feedback. The system is optimized for dialogue. Let us know if a particular response was good or unhelpful. And then if you really want to talk to them, they use a system called Discord, and they give you a link to go to it. Discord is one of those things that came along with all the young techies so they can communicate with each other. And it's interesting, rather confusing to use, I think. So I don't think we really care about giving them our feedback, but I'll show you a quick way that you can give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down on whatever they produce for you. So in short, it's cutting edge tech that can help you save time and effort by automating some of the more repetitive and time consuming aspects of your business. And I'm going to show you what I think are 10 use cases that you can do that you probably do every day, and it would be nice to have some help with. So here we go. GPT, in case you're curious about that, stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. It's basically a type of network architecture used in natural language processing. So the generative means it keeps making up words as it goes along. Pre-trained, in other words, it looked at all the text on the internet and then transforms what it's learned into something that answers questions that you give it. And we call it artificial intelligence. It's probably more along the line of machines learning, but anyhow, again, we don't need to know that. GPT models are pre-trained on large amounts of text and fine-tuned for specific tasks. The most well-known GPT model is GPT 3.5, which was developed by OpenAI. That's the company that built it, and that's the one who is at the center of all that's going on with the OpenAI, or excuse me, with AI right now. So how do you get it? So you go to this link, and we're going to go there just so you can see how it happens. And I'm going to have to log out because I'm logged in. And let's go to down here and log out. So when you follow that link, you end up here. And you can either sign in or log in. Excuse me, sign up or log in. If you go to sign up, you'll see a place where you can give it your account information and so forth. I don't want to create a second account, so I'm just going to log back in, but you'll see those things that I showed you before. You'll see those three little windows. So I'm going to go back in. Okay, so this is the basics, the thing that you see. I have signed up for the ChatGPT 4, which we'll talk about. So I have two options here. When I go in, I can either use the original or I can use the new version. So we'll go back to my slides and we'll go to the next one. If you sign up for GPT Plus, you'll get the following. It's a subscription plan and they'll charge you $20 a month. ChatGPT 3.5 is free, but they do restrict access to ChatGPT during peak time. So you may get there and you may not be able to get in, or it may not be responsive to you. But with ChatGPT Plus, the $20 a month version, you'll get access to ChatGPT 4. You'll get access during peak times. You'll get faster response times and priority access to new features and improvements. So where do you get that? Follow this link. And you can learn all about it right here. Read about ChatGPT, and you'll be able to sign up by clicking up over here. Okay. So now ChatGPT 4 is the latest version. So there's how you can learn about it right there and right here. But we're going to talk more about it later on. For now, I'm going to be using ChatGPT 3.5 because that's the free version. So anything I'm showing you here this morning or this afternoon, you'll be able to do on the free version. You won't have to sign up for the $20 a month. At some point down the road in this presentation, I'll be switching gears and I'll be showing you the difference between output from ChatGPT 3.5 and GPT-4. So we'll be looking at both versions for the same prompt or the same request that I make. It'll be interesting to see that. So now, starting off with, if you've got a listing, and one of the things you have to do is put some compelling sales information into the description field of the MLS when you're putting the listing in. In the past, it wasn't all that important because the information was only available to your fellow realtors. And we understood all the jargon and we understood all the shortcut language that we were using and so forth. But these days, as soon as you put something in the MLS, bang, it's out on the internet, and it's at realtor.com, it's at Redfin, it's at your company's website, it's at Zillow, it's at Trulia, it's everywhere, it's around the world. So you want to have a description that will entice people to want to go see the property. So now I've written these before to class, and I've asked ChatGPT to give me answers. And I'm able to go back and pull it up right away. So we don't have to spend time watching me type because that's horrible. I make more mistakes in my typing than I do the good stuff. So anyhow, I've done all that on my own time and we're just going to go take a look at it. So here is what I wrote them. This is me asking for something. And this is called prompting, by the way. And you do it by typing in something down here. But this is what I wrote. I said, please write a compelling property description using the following information. And I gave it the address and where it is. It's in a certain neighborhood, the bed and bath count, square footage, square foot lot, 2-car garage, extra storage space. Primary bedroom has walk-in closets, vaulted ceiling, large eat-in kitchen. That's okay. It'll work, but this is much better. And if you look at this, and I'm not going to read it for you, but you can read it. I hope that the text is large enough for you to see it. I think it is. But anyhow, their job here is so much better than what I originally gave it. But I said to it, yeah, this is too short. And make sure you're writing it in the English language. So they come back. This is ChatGPT saying, certainly, let's expand on the property description. So now they really expanded on it. And, you know, it's like the primary bedroom is a true sanctuary, complete with walk-in closets, vaulted ceilings, creating an atmosphere of serenity and relaxation. That sounds a whole lot better than just saying it's a 3-bedroom bath and 2-bath. And we talk about the kitchen. Now, since this has never actually been to the listing, it may be saying something that's not true. So I wouldn't just take this and plug it into the MLS. I would take this and put it into my word processor like Microsoft Word or Pages in a Mac. And I would sit there and I would go through and I would edit it and make changes as necessary. And then I would copy it and paste it into MLS. So let me come back to the next slide, because that's a property description. So now realtors can ask ChatGPT to convert that description into social media posts. So now I've got it in MLS, but I'd like to post it on my social media. So rather than start a new prompt, I just said, take this description and rewrite it so I can post it to Facebook. And then after that, give me a LinkedIn version. And after that, give me a Twitter/X version. So here's what I got. I got a little emoji, which is kind of cool. And I have a very shortened, but very nice little thing. And so this is a nice little thing for Facebook. Here's LinkedIn with another emoji. Okay. And then here's Twitter. It interpreted my X as text message, but hey, this is still working out just fine. But look, it also gave me hashtags, and I didn't ask it for it. So pretty nice. Not a bad deal. And that was, I mean, I could ask it for more information on this. I could ask it, don't give me the emojis. I could ask it for hashtags up here and each of these other things as well. But it knows that Twitter makes more use of hashtags than either LinkedIn or Facebook. That was pretty cool. You can ask ChatGPT for ideas on what to post on social media platforms, like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Can be especially useful for realtors who struggle with creating content, or if you're short on time. I don't know about you, but sometimes it's hard to come up with just stuff to post on Facebook. Some of you work for companies that will do that for you. Some of you subscribe to things like Keeping Current Matters and others that will give it to you. And others of us are out there in the wilderness fighting the battles on our own. So this will help you. So let's go see what they did here. And I'll tell you what I said, and then we'll see what it gave me back. So here's what I said. I said, I'm a realtor with 37 years experience. I specialize in helping people living in Danville who want to sell their homes for highest dollar, shortest period of time, and with the least inconvenience. Don't we all, right? I'm very successful in what I do. I want you to create a 30-day marketing calendar that will give me ideas on what to post on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Please format in the format of a table with 4 columns. And I told it what the columns were. And I said, do you understand? Now, remember I told you could give feedback. You could go thumbs up or thumbs down if you didn't like it. This little icon copies it to your computer, puts it into the memory so you can paste it somewhere else. But as I look at this, it says, I understand your request. You'd like a 30-day marketing calendar. Here's a concise 30-day marketing calendar for your real estate business. So now Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, but look what it's given me. So I've got ideas that I can use or not, and I can use this stuff every day of the month if I wanted to, or just pick the ones that I like. Maybe I don't like any of them. So this button here that says regenerate, it'll regenerate the table. So at the end of the 30 days, it says feel free to readapt it, but let's hit the regenerate and see how fast this goes. Unless we're in the middle of one of those peak periods, which we might be. No, I'm going to tell it stop because I don't want to sit here and wait for it forever. But one of the benefits of doing things live. All right. So next slide. Personalize your email marketing. Email can be drip campaigns, keep buyers engaged, and so forth. So let's look at that. Yeah. Remember, I'm in 3.5, so I'm experiencing that right now. But here we go. I'm a realtor with 35 years of experience. I specialize in helping people who want to buy homes in Danville. I'm very successful at what I do. Please write me a drip email campaign outline that will provide information on the current market. Certainly, Jerry. Here's an outline for a drip email campaign. And stay informed about the Danville real estate market. So here's the first email. And it's an outline. So they've written for me how many emails? Looks like 7. So now write a complete email for each of those emails. Certainly, Jerry, here are complete emails for each of the 7 stages of your drip email campaign. And, now we have a complete email written. Again, I would tell you this. It may have information that's incorrect, but they do give you a place in here to put average price, current inventory level, and mention any significant market changes or trends. So, but you're going to have to take this and paste it into your word processor so that you can do something with it, so you can clean it up, if you will, make it more to your liking. But this is amazing that they can do this. Okay. So if I go to, now I can say, okay, give me a script for a virtual tour. So you've got your tour companies that go out there and will shoot the things, but maybe you might want to record your own voiceover if you only knew what to say. So, okay, let's ask ChatGPT for some help on that. So now I'm saying to you, please create a script for a virtual tour. Show the scenes and the verbiage. And I give it the information. And then I've taken one of those descriptions that ChatGPT wrote for me. You might recognize the bedroom true sanctuary. I took that, added it to this prompt, and then pasted it in. And now I have a virtual tour script for that property. So it tells me scene 1 is an exterior shot. Narrator, that's me saying, welcome to da-da-da. Then I move to the front entrance. It tells me that's my next shot. And then da-da-da-da-da. And then with scene 3, 2-car garage. So basically it runs through the whole process of me saying what I need to say on a short version of a virtual tour. Again, I don't have to think about any of this. It's just doing it for me, which to me is the blessing. Again, anything that's here, I want to copy. It's easy enough to copy. I just come over here and hit this button, and the check mark tells me now it's copied to my clipboard. If I open up my word processor, I'll just take a moment to show that and start a new document. And create a new document in my word processor. And paste it in. So here's the virtual tour for that. And I can now come in here and make changes, print it out, do whatever I want to do with it. But again, that was easy to do. Let me just cancel that for a minute, because if I do this, if I just come over here and do a copy and paste, what I end up with, come down here to the next page and show you what that looks like. I end up, with things are not formatted properly. Oftentimes there's a gray background showing there. So I can get rid of all that just by using this particular button right here, the copy button. Okay. Now I can create a flyer. Now I can't create the actual flyer that I would take to the printer. Can't do that yet. But what I can do is create the copy that I might want to put on a flyer. And maybe you call them a statement. I'm not sure what the language is in your area. But basically, it's one of those pieces of paper that has information about the home with pictures that a person coming through could take home with them to help them remember the house. So let's see what ChatGPT can do for us in that regard. Okay, so I'm asking it to create a property brochure, and then I'm saying, what photo should I use? Here's the details. And again, this is that property description that I had ChatGPT, right? And so now I'm throwing it back to it and saying, make a brochure out of it. So now they're telling us property highlights, the primary bedroom sanctuary, so all the details. Then it throws a nice description. And then I said, suggest the photos to go with each section, because it apparently missed that when I asked for it up here. And I asked for it, what photo should I use? It apparently did not pick that up. So I had to ask it again. So now it tells me the photo suggestions. So start with a welcoming photo, and then ensure the photo captures the essence of the neighborhood, then the living room, the primary, the kitchen. So it's telling me what pictures to have to go along with the brochure. So that's pretty handy. Takes a lot of the thinking out of it for us, makes it easier to do. So realtors can ask ChatGPT to create social media posts or articles. Oh, okay. Now this is kind of cool. I don't know how many of you are writing a blog, or if you have handouts that you could give to people about educating them about the process, or if you're writing advertorials for the local newspaper. But this is where you can get something that can help you with that. So if I click on that, and we'll go here. Okay. Again, I'm telling it who I am and what I want it to do. And I'm telling them what I want as a result. I want something that will help them understand the home buying process in California, and then redo the whole thing with the home selling process. So here it says, okay, I can provide you with one-page handouts for both the home buying and home selling. Let's start with the home buying process. So the home buying process. So it gives me an outline of how this would work. And then it gives me the outline for the seller side of things. But I didn't like just the outline. I wanted more. I mean, that's okay, but it doesn't really show much. So I said, please write a complete paragraph for each point. Now, this is known as chaining, C-H-A-I-N, chaining a prompt. This is a prompt, and this is chained onto that one. So if you hear that, you'll understand what that is. So it knows what it did up here. So when I don't have to tell it to redo that, it knows that. So then I tell it what I want additionally. And it says, certainly, Jerry, here are complete paragraphs for each point in the one-page handouts. So now I truly have something that I can use. Again, the caveat is to make sure that it didn't say anything that would be offensive or biased or illegal, immoral, or fattening. Just have to go through that and make sure. If it does, clean it up before you use it. Now it did the same thing for the home seller. So now I have a couple of handouts, or I have 2 articles that I could post on my blog or send to the newspaper or do whatever I wanted to do with them. I could turn these into PDFs, and I could use them as a teaser to get people to sign up for my blog. Say, you know, would you like an article on how to buy a home right now these days? Give me your email address and I'll be happy to send it right over. Lots of stuff you can do with things like that. So moving on. Local content can help you establish themselves as a valuable resource by generating linked local articles. So here we go. With that one, this is a LinkedIn post. It could easily be anything you wanted it to be. I just chose LinkedIn for this one. And okay, so now I want you to write a 500-word article that showcases my expertise. So then it writes this article about me, which is kind of cool. So there's that one. Follow-up messages and thank you notes. Realtors can use ChatGPT to create personalized follow-up messages or thank you notes. Hopefully you're in the habit of when somebody comes into an open house and you got some contact information that you send them a thank you note either by email or through the US mail. So this will help you do that. if I get up to, they are definitely having slow times because I'm logging right into ChatGPT to show you these. Again, I tell it who I am, and then I want to send a thank you note. Now, here's a misspelling, but it knew what I meant, so it didn't. The misspelling didn't sidetrack it. Who recently visited an open house. Please write a short, friendly note thanking her for coming by. Please close by asking her to stay in touch with any questions she may have. So here's the nice thank you note. Hope the message finds you well. I wanted to take a moment to express my sincere gratitude for visiting the open house I hosted in Danville. It was a pleasure meeting you and showing you the property. And then it goes on about your interest and presence mean a lot to me. If you have any questions or need further information, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you once again for stopping by, yada, yada. So if I didn't like it, I could say, please rewrite, make it friendlier. Let's see what happens, see if it's working any faster. Let's do this for a millennial buyer. See what it does with that. See how fast that was? And the language is different, but the message is the same. Your visit meant a lot to me. I'm stoked that you came by. Okay. I'm not so sure that's what millennials say, but maybe it is, considering I'm an early baby boomer. Thanks again for dropping by. Looking forward to potentially working down the road. Feel free to stay connected. So, all right. Brainstorm marketing ideas. So we're always looking for a new way to find clients. Let's see what ChatGPT has for us. Again, I tell it who I am, and then I say, although I have 37 years in the business, whoa, I'm back. Oops, we went too far. Let's try that again. Okay, so although I have 37 years in the business, I'm at a loss on how I can attract new business. I don't want to spend a lot of money, yet I want to find innovative ways to get new business. Please give me 20 ideas. So now it's given me 20 ideas. Leverage social media, local SEO, content marketing, email marketing, networking, open houses, virtual tour, client testimonials, online advertising. So, and I can say, yeah, thanks, but give me more. Now, sometimes you can see it's stopped at 6, and I can just come down here to the send a message and just say continue. And then it finishes up for me. Interesting stuff. Some different stuff shows up when I do that. And consider writing an ebook, which you can do in ChatGPT. So let's move on. Now, what I want to do is compare and contrast ChatGPT 3 and ChatGPT 4 with the same prompts. So in other words, what I'm going to ask it to do in 3.5, I'm going to also ask it to do in 4. So this one here is 3.5. This is 4. Let's see what the difference is. So I click on that. Please ignore any custom instructions. I'll get to that in a little bit. Please rewrite the following agent bio in the first person. Make it sound professionally friendly. Emphasize why someone would want to work with this agent, and so forth. And then this part from here was what the agent gave me, telling me this was their bio, that while that was okay, it really didn't sing. It didn't come from the heart. So ChatGPT 3.5 wrote this one. And it actually did a pretty good job of it, I think. But let's go back and see what ChatGPT 4 would do with that. Same prompt, I'll show you. So now, as you can see, I've got plugins enabled, which that wasn't up there before because that wasn't available in ChatGPT 3.5. So here it is. Here's the rewritten agent bio. Oh, we're back up to here. And, please ignore any custom instructions. Please rewrite, blah, blah, blah. Here is the thing that the agent gave me. And this is what 4 came up with. I think it's better. I think that it sings a little bit more. I think it's more appealing. And down here at the end, it says, I hope this version captures the essence of professionalism and friendliness you're aiming for. Would you like any further adjustments? If I did, I could just put it in down here. Okay. So rewriting your bio. I have to tell you, you need to go to realtor.com and see what your bio says. You need to go to your website and see what your bio says. You need to go to Facebook and see what you've said up there in your profile about you. And if you've got LinkedIn, go check your LinkedIn profile and rewrite those things because, people go looking online and they're looking at you. And if you got either no bio or no information about yourself on any of those sites, you're doing yourself a disservice. Write something and then have ChatGPT reword it for you if you want. So it can also write a blog post. So if I go to 3.5 and ask it to write a blog post, ignore my custom instructions. So I'm in 3.5 here. I'm a realtor with years of experience. Please write a 500-word blog post on why someone should list their home for sale now instead of waiting for spring. Oh, there's a common question we might have from sellers. Should I wait for spring or should I go on the market now? So here's what it says in 3.5. Talks about some of the things that we know about the marketplace right now. And so that's pretty good, but let's go see what 4 comes up with on the same prompt. Okay, I know I'm in 4 because I can see I have plugins enabled. I get up to the top here, and same prompt. And then now here comes what 4 says. So this is, really something I could hand out. I could print this on my letterhead and turn it into a handout, which I could leave with people. But spring may be the traditional home selling season. Listing your property now can offer numerous benefits, reduce competition, and motivated buyer to a faster sales process. So, but I said, hey, write this as a millennial agent. Okay. Why you shouldn't sleep on listing your home right now. Hey there, future homeowner. You may be thinking this spring is the ultimate season, but let me drop some knowledge. Now is actually a killer time to get your property on the market. Less is more. Stand out. Fear of missing out. Flex your home's winter swag. Low-key curb appeal. Price it like you mean it. Wrap up. Don't sleep on the off season. And then I said, okay, let's write it as if Tom Ferry wrote it for us. Because you can write in the style of anybody that as long as ChatGPT knew about it, if they were on the internet prior to the end of September of 2021, ChatGPT will know about it. Tom Ferry's been around for a while. Clearly, it knows about Tom Ferry. And Tom Ferry has posted stuff so it can go out there and read his stuff and copy his style. Here's what we get. Hey, everyone, Tom Ferry here. I want to talk to you about something that's been on my mind. The myth that spring is the best time to list your home. Let's disrupt that thinking right now and dive into why listing your home today is a game changer. So if you follow him, this sounds like him. And he's got some headings: scarcity principle, urgency, speed, winter amenities, curb appeal, pricing. And I said, let's write it like Brian Buffini. We all know about Brian. And then Brian, hi folks, Brian Buffini here. I want to share some wisdom with you. While supply and demand, efficiency is key, winter amenities, pricing power. Okay. And then I said, rewrite it like me, use my custom instructions. So if I did it as a real estate coach and a blog writer, which it knows about my blog, this is what I would have said. So now I could take this, pop it into my word processor, make sure there's no inaccuracies or other problems with it, and take it and pop it into my blog as a blog post. Now, I don't write for the consumer on my blog. I write for real estate agents and lenders. But if I wrote for consumers, here is a blog post written for me. And I told it 500 words. I could told it 1,000 words or 250 words, whatever, and it would accommodate me what I want. A marketing campaign. Give me a marketing campaign. Tell me what I should be doing with calls, text, and emails. Here comes 3.5. And I told it who I am. Write a 30-day marketing plan, complete with misspelling. Again, it didn't stop it. But I can use to market any service, my services as a realtor. Do the same for people who want to buy homes. So I'm asking for two different outputs. And I want the output in a table format. Otherwise, it'll give it to me as a list. But show the emails, text, and social media, print ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, postcards, flyers, etc. So now here's my marketing plan for home sellers. I send an email, do a video tour, place a print ad, run a Google ad, run a follow-up email, do more Facebook ads, flyers, email, text messages, optimize Google ads, and on and on and on for 30 days. Then here's one for home buyers. So if I did not know what I wanted, if I didn't have any ideas, just fresh out of ideas, at the very least, there's got to be one or two things in these tables that I could do that I'm not currently doing that would help me generate more business. And on the upside, I've got 30 days worth of stuff I could do. If I do one of these things every day for 30 days, I got content out there for an entire month. And I can have it redo it and say, okay, do it again for next month. Give me 30 days of different stuff. Or I could find out what works best and tell it to give me a marketing campaign around those things that work the best for me. So if I want to see what 4 has available in that same question, okay, so now back I'm in 4, and then it says 30-day marketing plan. So a little bit different. This one tells me the type of content as well. And I'm with my ads thing, it's telling me how to bid on keywords like Danville home valuation and post a flyer at community centers. And it managed to skip 5, a whole bunch of stuff in here. So I would have told it to regenerate. And this one here, it did the same thing. It just skipped a bunch of numbers. But I would have told it to regenerate if I was serious about this. So, okay. Give me some marketing advice. Okay, so this doesn't happen that often, but when it does, you're scratching your head. And what I'm talking about is you put a house on a listing and it doesn't sell right away. And you're like, well, what can I do? Okay, well, here's what ChatGPT 3.5 will tell you to do. Offer some marketing advice to help me get this property sold. And I tell it about the property. Okay, so to market the property, you can use the following marketing advice. Highlight the location. in my marketing materials. Start by emphasizing a desirable location. Mention the benefits of living. Concise yet comprehensive description of the property. Emphasize the interior features, the views, professional photos, virtual tours, fair housing compliance, online presence, and so forth. So that's good. Nothing special there. If I go into 4 and ask it, same prompt, and then it says create an attractive listing description. So now it gives me a short description and gives me some bullet points to highlight the desirable features. So 4 gives me more detail, gives me a little bit more density in what's going on. And location benefits, fair housing compliant language, consider open houses, all of that stuff is there. Kind of jog my memory on maybe I didn't do some of this. Maybe I should, contact the other agents who have sold in that area or somebody, maybe I go to a marketing meeting and talk about the listing. So how about I want to work in a particular niche? So I'm going to go here and see what ChatGPT tells me. So I've decided that I want to work in the niche of senior buyers and sellers. So I want to attract home sellers who are older than 55 and who have lived in their present home for more than 25 years. Please write a marketing plan for me that I can use to locate and attract those sellers. So certainly, Jerry, to target older homeowners who have lived in their current homes for over 25 years, you can implement a targeted marketing plan. Here's a concise marketing plan. So identify your target audience. So it kind of repeats what I've told it, but now understand their motivations, needs, and pain points. So it's giving me some advice there. And then create a tailored message, optimize my website, write blog posts or articles. We already know how to do that now. We could write a whole thing like, write me a blog post about downsizing, or write a blog post about transitioning to retirement communities. So social media marketing, we know how to do that because ChatGPT can do it for us. And share informative content. Again, I could say, give me a 500-word blog post about the real estate market for older homeowners. So it's giving me ideas that I can feed back into it to get different content back out. Build a mailing list, networking, direct mail campaigns, client testimonials. I could host workshops. I could ask the ChatGPT to give me a script for a 30-minute workshop for helping people who are 55 and older understand the process of selling their home. It could do it. And blah, blah, blah. So that was ChatGPT 3.5. Let's see what 4 does with that same prompt. Okay, so now it gives me a nicer headline, and it gives me an executive summary to remind me what I'm doing this. It gives me my target audience. It gave me more information than I gave it. This is telling me that they're likely to have fully paid off or nearly paid off mortgages, maybe, unless they refied, possibly considering downsizing. Okay, so and now list the digital channels I can use, the traditional channels I can use, community engagement, and then it tells me about my messaging strategy. Okay, call to action and so forth. So it basically gives me a much better outline. And I could come down to here and say, please write a full paragraph on each point. I don't have to say please, by the way. This is the machine, but I feel better. I think my mom would be proud of me for using my manners. So now, here goes the expanded version of the marketing plan. You can see how fast this is in real time. I can't scroll fast enough to keep up with it. There we go. I could pick any demographic I want to work with. I could say, please write a marketing plan for me to attract first-time home buyers. I could say, I would like to write a marketing plan to attract people who want to sell their Willow Glen home or something like that, or a marketing plan to attract buyers for Willow Glen, or whatever neighborhood you want, you can do that. But it tells me what I can do. I'm going to stop this so we don't have to spend all day with it because it's going to continue going. But, that is a really nifty feature. So now this is a good one too. And if you think about it, people are saying to you, oh, I can't buy a home right now because the interest rates are so high. So I asked ChatGPT, both 3.5 and 4.0, I asked it to please write me a script to help me overcome that particular objection. So here's what ChatGPT 3.5 came up with. So I said, interest rates are high. Please write a script that I can use to show potential buyers that it's still a good time to buy a home regardless of interest rates. Here's the script. Hi, I'm Jerry, your trusted real estate advisor. I understand you may have concerns. I probably wouldn't use that, but anyhow, these are the things that I would use. First and foremost, buying a home is a long-term investment, blah, blah, blah. Build equity, predictable housing costs, tax benefits, diverse loan options, buyer's market, long-term goals. And lastly, it's important to remember your long-term goals. In conclusion, so it's okay. Let's see what 4 came up with. So pretty much the same thing. Not a whole lot of difference between the two. This is different, diversify your portfolio. And this is a much nicer conclusion, I think. And again, it has the call to action there at the end, which I think is crucial in any of these things. So let's go into why I think you should invest that $20 a month. Okay, why you should invest in getting ChatGPT 4, the ability to use plugins and so forth. ChatGPT 3.5, as you saw, is capable, and but 4 adds a little extra sauce to it. So when you subscribe to ChatGPT Plus, you get access to GPT-4. You get access to plugins, and I will talk about those in a minute. You get access to custom instructions, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But you can work with larger documents, and you get faster access to ChatGPT even during peak time, faster response times, and you get priority access when they roll out new features and improvements. If you look at ChatGPT 4, you're going to see it says, when you choose that for a new prompt, you're going to see our most capable model, great for tasks that require creativity and advanced reasoning. You're only allowed to do 50 messages every 3 hours. Basically, they put a rate limit on you because it's so darn popular. I can only imagine the size of the server farm that works behind the scenes here. It must be the size of a city block, given how many people use it. Talk about custom instructions. When you subscribe for ChatGPT 4 or GPT Plus, you get Chat 4 and you get custom instructions. The custom instructions that you give it will work on 3.5 as well. You can't use custom instructions on the basic free version. It's just not available. But if you spring for the ChatGPT Plus, you get to do custom instructions that'll work across both platforms. So again, and you can even use the custom instructions will show up on your web, the internet like we're doing. It'll also show up on the app for your iPhones and your Android phones. There are apps available for ChatGPT that whatever you do here will work on your phones as well. Yeah, it says, how do you use your data? Well, you can edit or delete custom instructions at any time for future conversations. Your instructions won't be shared with shared link viewers. And if you use third-party plugins, then the model may provide plugin developers with relevant information from your instructions. So more on plugins in a minute, but they're going to tell you only use plugins that you trust, because the plugin developer may have access to your private custom instructions. So important information from your use of custom instructions will also be used to improve model performance. So they're going to take your custom instructions and improve the model with it as well. So here's what it looks like. So this is, and I'll show you my complete custom instructions in just a minute. But basically, there's two screens to deal with when you're putting up custom instructions. What would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses? So basically, I told it to address me as Jerry. You may have seen that it was doing that. I want my responses to come back in a semi-formal tone. I want the responses to be concise as necessary to fulfill the task, unless I request a more detailed answer. I want it to remain neutral, and I'm seeking assistance with tasks related to my work. So they give you the little window to the right where it says thought starters. Where are you based? What do you do? What are your hobbies? What subjects can you talk about for hours? And what are some goals? The second window, it says, how would you like ChatGPT to respond? And I told it, I like a semi-formal response. Your responses should be as long as necessary to get the job done, but no longer unless I ask for a longer one. Again, I'd remind it to address me as Jerry. So on the little bubble to the right, it says, how formal, I can talk. How formal or casual should ChatGPT be? How long or short should responses generally be? How do you want to be addressed? And should ChatGPT have opinions or remain neutral? Now, this is my full instruction. When you get the slides, you'll be able to take this and modify it. You can copy and paste it into your word processor, and you can do with it as you wish. But essentially, the thing that I wanted to make sure of, if I request information outside of our discussions, please feel free to ask clarifying questions to ensure you have necessary context. When crafting property descriptions, it's essential to ensure that the language used is neutral and does not favor or discriminate against any particular group. Avoid using terms or phrases that might imply a preference for a specific demographic. Always focus on the property's features and amenities without making any discriminatory statements or implications. I then tell it to reference the HUD Fair Housing Act Overview PDF. So, well, wait a minute. Didn't you say, Jerry, that it doesn't know anything past September 21st? What if HUD has updated this book? It's not going to know about it. Well, that's where the plugins come in. So we'll get to that in a minute, because a plugin will allow ChatGPT access to the current internet. So plugins are powered by third-party applications. Think of it like the App Store or the Google Play Store for ChatGPT. So third-party developers have built things that will extend the capabilities of ChatGPT, and we'll actually go look at those in a minute. Plugins connect ChatGPT to external apps, and it reminds you that it may send your conversation, custom instructions, and everything else to the plugin. ChatGPT automatically chooses when to use plugins during a conversation, depending on the plugins you have enabled. That last sentence is really crucial, because you can have a plugin installed, but if you haven't enabled it, ChatGPT won't be able to use it. So I'll show you how that works too. So here's the plugin store. Here's what it looks like. And you can see across the top, there's popular, there's new, there's all, there's installed, and there's a spot to search. So right now it's looking, when I took the screenshot, it was aimed at popular. So there's things, right now people are all excited about uploading a PDF and then being able to ask questions of the PDF. So there's a few of those. There are browser things, there's diagramming, there's coders, you can chat with PDF, lots of interesting plugin things. There's 8 on a page, and there's 4 pages, looks like. So, quite a few pages of information. There are different types of plugins that are available. So, just when you thought you were up to speed on this dropped this morning. This was an announcement from OpenAI, and it made me have to add 2 more slides to this presentation. So ChatGPT can now see, hear, and speak. So we're beginning to roll out new voice and image capabilities. They offer a new, more intuitive type of interface by allowing you to have a voice conversation or show ChatGPT what you're talking about. So it's not rolled out yet. I have ChatGPT 4, so that means I will get it at some point. I don't have it now. I have not been able to look at it and see what it can do, but they just announced it today, literally this morning. And, I think this is going to be really cool stuff for us. Now, I want to warn you again. I can't say this enough. AI can give you results that can result in plagiarism claims, fair housing claims, code of ethics violations, as well as results that are just not true. And this may not be an exhaustive list of issues that can come up. So what you need to do is to take everything that it gives you, put it in a word processor so you can edit it before you use it. And, making some changes to it will help you get past plagiarism. You could look for fair housing violations. You could look for code of ethics violations and stuff that's just not flat true. Like in that property description, I do not think it had an eat-in kitchen. So, if I had never been to the property, I wouldn't know that. So I might be putting stuff out there that isn't true. So again, things to be aware of. Beware of plagiarism. Beware of bias in fair housing laws that may produce content that's not consistent with the Realtor Code of Ethics. It's only trained through 2021. So ChatGPT 3.5 cannot access the internet. Cannot do it. There's no plugins that work with 3.5. They only work with 4.0 going forward. ChatGPT 4 can access the internet with a plugin, but it sometimes fails. So you might want to reference the DRE guidelines on advertising. There's a link there, just to make sure you're in alignment with that. So if you're in doubt whether something is in violation, you've got a manager or a broker, or if you don't have any of that, you're going to have to go hire a qualified California real estate attorney to make sure that you are in compliance with all the rules and regulations that we have to follow. So I'm going to wrap this up, and then we'll take questions. When used with caution, ChatGPT can be a powerful tool for realtors looking to enhance their business. By automating some of the more time-consuming aspects of marketing and communication, you can focus on building relationships. So whether you're creating content or writing descriptions or generating email campaigns, ChatGPT can help you save time and stay competitive. So what's in the book that you're going to get? This book was written by me, and it shows you much of what we looked at today. And you'll see that I give you a prompt, and then I give you the output, much like we looked at today. But it's in PDF format, which means you can copy and paste stuff out of it. Jody mentioned that it will come to you tomorrow afternoon. She has the book, she has the PDF file right now, and her technology staff will take this video, and there's stuff at the beginning of this that has to be cut out, stuff at the end. They'll get that thing packaged up for you, and they'll be able to send it to you. So look for it tomorrow afternoon or the next day at the latest. And if you don't get it, then let Jody know about it. Maybe it went to spam, or maybe they have a bad email address for you at the association. But here's what's in the book. 16 proven ChatGPT prompts. They're basically the ones we looked at. Learn techniques to write compelling property descriptions. create engaging agent biographies that showcase your expertise. You really need to do this. Go look at what's out there right now. It's probably boilerplatey. Copy that, throw it into ChatGPT and say, please rewrite this, and continue that process until you get something you like. But update your stuff at realtor.com, update your stuff at Zillow, update your stuff on your website, update your social media profiles. Let ChatGPT write stuff that's really compelling for you. It's going to talk about creating sales brochures, craft irresistible social media posts, say goodbye to writer's block and hello to a stress-free, efficient, and downright delightful content production experience. Learn the best way to construct a prompt. See which version of Prompt GPT is best for you. Learn how to stay out of trouble when using ChatGPT. And then there's a special bonus of 23 additional ideas that you can do with ChatGPT. At this point, I'm going to jump out of the presentation and see if we have questions that I can answer for you.